Hey everybody, Mike McWilliams upstairs to the right music. On today's show, we're going to head here down the street to my Luthier shop and we're going to pick up my Epiphone 59. We're going to talk to him about some of the things that he thinks about the Epiphone 59 and some of the changes that he made to the one that I gave to him, and just have some fun in general. So come on, let's go.
I want to tell the story of crabs that live in a well. Each day they look up and long for the days by the sea, saying this is a place that a crab just should.
All right, so
take a look.
Here we go. Oh, what a beauty. So what we did was I asked Fern here. By the way, everybody, this is Fern's shop. This is Fern. And he's a master luthier here in Amsterdam. And I asked him to do some things to the Epiphone 59 that I bought. First and foremost, we could take a look at is the polish job that he did on it. So
you can see the original finish on the
wow, look at that. My goodness, it just pops now. Oh my goodness. It's like night and day, this top.
Yeah. So on the back you can see the original matte type of finish.
Ah, there we go. So that's a matte finish on the back. This is the gloss on the front. Just gorgeous. And the other thing that I asked Fern to do was to work on the frets. Could you tell us a little bit about the fretwork?
I started with the fret ends, like you asked me.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
When I did the setup, I realized there needed to be some leveling. And it happened to be quite some leveling.
Okay, and let's talk about that. So where were the big problem with the frets? Was it down here in the 13, 14 like I thought, or?
It was here and here.
Yeah.
And the neck bended a little bit more too far backwards, while the frets were not aligned to that as well.
I see.
And luckily, I happened to got a new tool for this.
From StewMac?
No, from Japan.
Okay, even better.
But made by an Italian Luthier.
Oh, okay.
And it's a really smart thing.
Can we take a look? Let's take a look.
It's a very smart stick.
Okay.
And it's a standing stick. There's sandpaper on it which you can remove.
Okay.
And you can put it through the strings, so you can fret level
without having to take the string. Yeah.
But of course your neck is bended,
right?
So this thing you can curve exactly in
so
the curve.
Adjust to that. Wow.
As your neck is. So the advantage of that is that if you do fret leveling without the strings, without string tension, then sometimes the neck warps a little bit or does something funny under string tension. And now you have it as it is. So you got just the situation as you play it. And you can very quickly test the guitar as well, because you level it, take it off, you can play it.
Do a little run and
it's really helping, I would say.
So now we've got all the fret leveling done on this. Would you say that right now that this is completely excellent in terms of?
This is good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that leads to our next questions about your impressions of the overall quality of the fretwork and fretboard on Epiphones by just themselves, because you work on a lot of Epiphones. So was this pretty much along the lines of standard Epiphone work, or a little better, a little worse?
I would say a little worse, because it was a little bit more bad than I expected it.
Yeah.
But I think it solved pretty well.
Okay.
And, you will have a nice guitar out of this.
Okay, well, let's talk about the next thing that you did to it. So you did a little bit of rewiring to it as well.
Well, the little bit of rewiring ended up to be
here we go.
quite some rewiring. Let me start with the spare parts, then you know.
Sure.
And then we open up the back plate so you can see what happens. Which is pretty much all the pot meters.
Oh, and the caps.
And there's a reason for it, which I will explain you as well.
Oh wow, we did oh my god, this is not going to be cheap. Okay, go ahead.
The point is that these are newer made guitars, and in newer made guitars, it's prohibited to use lead in the thin.
Okay.
And the good part is that it's more healthy, but the bad part is you cannot repair it, and the new thin will not melt in it. I discussed it with a good amplifier maintenance repairman in Amsterdam, which I trust, and he said, clean it, and if you cannot clean it, take it out. And in this case, it was taking out was better than cleaning it.
So what we did is we did a complete caps and pots on this. So all the leads to the pickups and everything was replaced. So here are the original Epiphone caps, and here are the original Epiphone pots. Well, what were your impression of the Epiphone pots?
The pots are CTS, so it's an upgrade from the regular Epiphone, but it's not the best CTS. CTS is a big factory, and if you have money enough, you can just order your custom CTS pot, and that's what you have now. Okay. So this is the standard stuff, and now you have the upgraded stuff.
Okay, and one question that leads into is just the overall quality of the electronics. Even though this was really advertised as having this upgrade, you're saying that it was, yes, a step above normal Epiphone, but still a little less than Gibson USA, or?
The wiring was a bit more clumsy, I would say. Okay. And that was the first thing why we would work on it. Okay. There were some cables arranged in a way that it would be sensitive for malfunctions. At one point. Right. And the idea that you cannot repair it is not nice, of course.
All right, let's flip it over.
But that's probably just coming out from the new rules.
I see. All right, well, let's flip it over and give everybody a look at what you did. I'm excited to see this myself. All right, tell us what you did here.
All right, well, you can see the new capacitors, which is the originals. Main reason for me to use them is that they're strong. You can take them out and resoldering. If you need a new pot, you don't need to throw out the capacitor. The old ones the original ones have a bit weaker lead wire, which makes them a bit more sensitive. They're not bad in a way, but this is just nicer, I would say. Sound-wise, I leave it up to you. Because I don't hear so much of a difference. Now the pot meters, they're all the same, so there's no distinction between the tone and volume pot. So they have.
So we didn't do the 50 wiring where you got the cross.
Yeah, well, it's.
Oh yeah, there it is. I see.
There it is. 50 wire. And the pot meters are brand new Lollar CTS pot meters. Wow. So Lollars. Nowadays, Lollar also orders them at CTS. Wow. And I have to say they have a nice curve. It works, and the torque is also nice. Okay. Which is also important. So one of the things which was a problem was that the lead wires from the pickups itself, which is the upgraded braided shield wire, like the Gibson pickups. It is Gibson pickups inside, right? Yes. Yeah. Yes. They were too long and they were just hanging around here. Okay. So the shielding could contact, in a way, some leads from the pots, and
that could lead to.
You don't want that. So this is just nice, strong, and sturdy. And I could cut off a little bit length, which is always fine.
That's good. Yeah, the less length, the better dynamics you have.
Then the wire from the switch was also popping out. I could shorten that also. Okay. This connection between the switch and the output was a little bit inside the original pot meter. It's not nice because likely you have to change the output in time. Right. And you want to be able to get that wire. Also the grounding of the switch wire and the output wire was together on the pot, and I separate them also in order to be able to do maintaining later. Yes. So that makes sense, I hope.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the grounding wires are now some nice Gavit close wires, just because it looks good.
It does. I have to say that you know, this is actually closer. I mean, they were attempting to do 50s style wiring before, but this is actually even closer to that, even still so. Yeah. And a lot cleaner as well.
Yeah. And another thing was that also the original potmeters, when I fasten them on the wood, they tend to slip. And these ones are put in a bit stronger.
Firmly in there.
Probably it has to do with the type of knurled ring that's under it, but it's a detail. But
I'm going to go say that you will notice, especially in the tapering, the audio tapering with these Lollars. I'm willing to bet that I mean these were fine. The original, they were fine, but I do think you're going to get even more refined tapering with these.
Yeah.
And
especially the tone works better.
Yeah, and the caps on that are a step up as far as the caps.
Yeah.
So I think this wiring with these Gibson pickups, I think that this is the ultimate that this guitar could probably be.
I think so, yes.
I think this just finally before we finish up, last time I was here, you were talking about the wood qualities of Epiphone guitars.
Yeah.
You were saying that the way that they save money is buying lesser quality mahogany woods. Mm-hmm. Does this fall under that same category? After touching it, feeling it, spending time?
My guess is to say yes.
Okay.
And to be honest, I have to see it when the head breaks off.
Yeah. And how often do you get head breaks on Epiphone? Because when I came in here, you had two sitting right here on the workbench, and I was slightly horrified. But
if you remember, I think I showed you the color of the wood, right?
Yes, you did.
The inside color is just more pale.
Pale, yes, that's right. I would
red mahogany.
Yeah.
And I know fresh cut mahogany, and this is it's brittle. It just the parts fall out.
Right. Gotcha.
So if I got an Epiphone head crack and a Gibson head crack, then
the Gibson will be smooth.
The Gibson is normally nicer to glue.
Gotcha.
And the Epiphone can be more catastrophic looking.
In this case, you can see we have two pieces of mahogany. So unlike a lot of Epiphones, this is actually not multiple pieces. Although I suspected, this might be 1, 2, 3, but I'm not sure.
Can we take a look to the side?
Yeah, sure. Because that's a question a lot of people have as well. Are these pancake bodies? Are these...
It's definitely not a pancake because you see the lines going all the way.
Yep.
And here I don't see any distinction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a little bit hard to see here, but it follows all the way till the center.
Okay, so we can assume...
It's really a two-piece.
So this is a true two-piece. So you'll hear online, folks, that these new Epiphones are multiple-piece bodies. That's not true. The ones that I've seen are two-piece bodies and a one-piece neck, by the way, because I've taken a good look at this neck. And you can see here where, well, that's a different story, but this is a one-piece mahogany neck. So these are a step up from the new line, particularly the Epiphone Les Paul Standard 50s and 60s. Those are 2 or 3 piece with a veneer on the back. This has no veneer, and it's a definite 2-piece. Solid, by the way, non-chambered body. So.
I have to say because the head is glued on, I think.
Yes, that's correct.
And that would be my preference, actually. Instead of the one piece that Gibson used.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And for me, because it's the grain direction, you follow this line and you want to follow that line, which you can only achieve by gluing it. And the glue joint is strong. It never fails. If it breaks somewhere else.
So you would say that in some construction capacities, the Epiphone is superior in that regard.
In that sense, it's better, yeah. Definitely.
Interesting. All right, we're not going to take any more of your time here. I'm going to pay the bill. I know it's not going to be cheap, but I'm really happy with the work that was done on this. Quite a fantastic job done by Fern here. Guys, really, this is my guitar this is my keeper guitar, so I don't mind investing into getting it done and getting upgraded, seeing that this is the only guitar I'm going to keep. Really, well, of course you have others, but your main guitar. But I really think it was worth the time. The smoothness over here from before is quite noticeable. That was the one thing that I'm very happy about. You can just look at it now and see, and we'll plug it in, of course, for the next episode, but you can feel now that this neck is just proper. It just feels. Yeah. It just feels like a proper guitar. So that's it for today. Thank you to Fern for allowing us to film in the shop
You're
today.
very welcome.
Guys, what we're going to do is we're going to put a link to Fern's shop down in the description. We're also going to, you had a link for your Facebook group for Epiphone. So we're going to get a link for his Facebook group for Epiphone guitars. I want you to check that out. Until the next time, you guys take care. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.